Hello there, and welcome to Level 2 of Club Steam. Joining me today is Aaron Rivera. Welcome, Aaron. How's it going?
Hey, pretty good. How you doing?
Doing fantastic. I got a PS3 in this week. Came in a really damaged box, but all is good with it. It is going to work for my needs, and we'll got a little discount because of the mishap. So,
Mishap?
it arrived in an open box. I got the package, and the box was already opened because the shipping was box was so pathetic, and UPS probably threw it around a lot.
Yeah.
So, and it's a fat PS3, so I got the fat, beautiful design.
Hopefully you don't have any problems with like the drive or like the disk drive.
I've been playing Saints Row 4 this whole weekend, pretty good, and the disk drive was just replaced before it got sent to me, so hopefully the shipping damage didn't distract from that. This is the later generation FAT, so it's more reliable than the backwards compatible FATs that were initially made. So yeah, we'll see. It's been an interesting experience, but let's get to Steam stuff, right? PC gaming and what I see in the notes here. PC upgrades is kind of what you want to dive into first here.
Yeah. So I got something I've been waiting on for a while. I got my liquid cooler in. So it's pretty nice.
I really want you to do a video on this liquid cooler. That stuff just blows my mind.
It's pretty awesome. It's a pretty common thing.
I know. It just still like is mind blowing.
Yeah. So in mine, I got the Corsair H100i, and it's pretty nice. It's got a really large radiator. It's about this large.
I like that.
It's probably about 10 inches long.
Okay.
It's 27 millimeters high. It came with two fans. Two 120 millimeter fans, and they just go on top of it. Depending on which case you have, you can mount it in there either with the fans below or the fans above. Since mine is a Corsair case and it's the Carbide series, it's a little bit more compact inside. It doesn't have the room to put it does have room to put the fans or put the fans inside and put the radiator on top in the separate kind of tray or the separate space. But when you do that, you're not able to screw in the fans all the way. You can only put in like 3 screws on each fan and not 4 because you can't reach the other one. So I had it in there that way first because I was watching a lot of tutorials and everything and put it in that way. But then I was like, well, I don't really like that because I can't put that final screw in. And so then I put the fans on top, and they fit in where the radiator was originally, and there's actually fan cutouts there, so I think it's really meant to go that way.
Now, does this coolant ever evaporate out of your computer and you have to refill it?
No. This is all it's like a car radiator, except that you don't really ever have to replace it. I mean, if there's no leak, it's all going to stay in there.
Okay. You don't plug this up to your sink to have it refill it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I have it plugged in there. I got the radiator down underneath. It's got these 2 hoses that come off from the radiator to the actual cooler part. And it says Corsair on it right there, and it's like a light, and you can change the color of the light. So if you want it to be certain colors to match like the internals.
Now, can you see the water flowing inside of that, or is it kind of static?
No, because the hoses are just solid. Black.
They're not transparent hoses.
Yeah, but there are some that have the transparent hoses that you can see. So I was looking at some other people's builds. There's this guy that made like a Titanfall computer, and it's all Titanfall themed, and it has an orange coolant inside of there, and it's like pumping. You can see it all go. It's pretty crazy.
Is that more expensive to do transparent too?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Pay a lot for clear stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it keeps my CPU super cool. It runs at 30 degrees Celsius, just like, standing, which is pretty cool.
That's what, freezing, right?
No, 30 Celsius is probably, I don't know how much.
Yeah, you're using like millimeters and Celsius.
I'm going to figure this out.
Foreign stuff, yeah.
But it's pretty cool because I have a friend, and he has just like a regular CPU cooler, and he says that his runs at about 45 degrees.
Yeah, now you got this because you wanted to turbocharge your CPU. Have you done that yet?
I have not done it yet. I am going to do it, though. That is 86 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's pretty warm.
So that's pretty cool for a CPU. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Okay,
let's see, the
cool.
highest I've seen it go up to while I've been playing games and stuff with this liquid cooler is 33. So 33 is 91.4 degrees. So
Now, in summer, when it's hotter outside and you're not having good air conditioning, would that affect it, I'd imagine?
well, it is summer right now, and we are on the second floor here, and it is a little bit warmer
toasty in there?
upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm running. So during like the winter, when it gets pretty cool up here, I'm sure it'll go down a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Cool. So, stores not knowing anything is in the notes. What's that mean? Did you try to ask
Oh, man.
questions out of Best Buy and not
No,
get good
okay.
answers?
So this is kind of related to my computer upgrades. So I decided this week, I got my liquid cooler in. I was like, I'm just going to complete the stuff that I wanted to get done. So I have like a Bluetooth dongle that works well, but I was having a little bit of problems with it. I thought that I was having problems with that. Ended up that it was not that. So I was like, I'll just
too much
buy
stuff through it. You're trying to like do too
No,
much
I only
things
have
with it?
one thing going through it.
Okay.
But it wasn't being recognized, and we'll get to that later. But so I thought it was just like the part itself. So I had spent about $12 on that. I was looking for like another one because maybe if I spend a few more dollars on it, then I can get one that would actually work with what I was trying to do.
Was it a driver issue?
Sort of a driver issue, yeah. So I was looking at some stores. I looked online because it was pretty late at night, and I went to Walmart, and they said that they do carry it in store, the exact one I wanted.
You went to Walmart? They don't
Yes.
know diddly squat, Aaron.
So this was the crazy part. I don't expect people when I go to Walmart to know everything that I'm
They
talking
don't even
about.
know where stuff is. I'll ask them,
Well,
where is
I-
this? And they'll come back an hour later. I don't know.
But I do
You in-store
expect them to
pickup and they can't
know.
find it. Yeah.
I do expect them to know at least where something is. If that's where they work in that department. They should know where something is. I go,
Sierra,
I tell the guy.
I've done in-store pickup for stuff at Walmart, and it's like, we don't have that back here. Let's go find it on the shelf. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So-
yeah, your story.
I go back there and I'm like, hey, I'm looking for like a Bluetooth, a USB dongle. Do you have those here? I was like, I saw them online, and I'm just looking for those. And I'd already looked around and I didn't see it. And the guy was like, Bluetooth? What are you talking about? And I'm like, well, it's just this small little Bluetooth dongle.
It's a piece of
Plugs in.
technology that wirelessly connects mice and keyboards
Yeah.
to a computer.
And then so I said it's just this little thing, and it, like you can use it for your keyboard and stuff.
It
and
looks
he's
like a thumb drive that
Yeah.
you store data on.
And he's like, oh, you mean like a wireless thing? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, we don't sell those. And I was like, oh, well, I saw it on your website, and it said that your store has them in stock. And then he's like, well, and this is like the craziest part. He said, well, we don't really use that kind of technology anymore. And then he's like, we have switched over to something that's just called wireless. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, so if you buy a keyboard nowadays, it's going to come with this little thing you plug into your USB, and it's just going to wirelessly transmit to that. And I'm like, okay, do you sell those separately? And then he's like, well, what you're talking about, nobody uses that technology anymore. And I was like, okay, well, they just came out with Bluetooth 4.0 not too long ago, and
I don't mean to
like
be
a lot of devices
rude,
use
but
it.
your iPhone has Bluetooth built into it.
Yeah. And I was just like, okay, whatever. And I was trying so hard not to laugh at this guy because he had no idea what he was talking about. I had to turn my head and like look around.
You'll get a select few at Walmart that know their stuff, but majority of them, they work at Walmart. They don't even have the income to be messing around with technology, and if they do, they're poor because of it. I don't want to degrade people at Walmart, but it's that they're not the tech heads that a Best Buy employee may be, even though they make slightly more money, but not a whole lot more.
So then, even more sad news is I go to a computer parts store. I believe it was the next day. And this is the store.
So you
in,
could not
in,
find
like, my city.
You could not find the Bluetooth dongle
Yeah.
that it said was in stock at the Walmart.
Yeah, so I was just like, I'm gonna buy this online because it's on there. I was looking at the site; it was on there even cheaper. So I was like, I'll just buy it on there. So I went home. Like the next day, I decided I'm gonna go to this computer parts store. Like my dad came into town, and we were going around to some stores. I'm like, hey, let's stop by this store. So we go inside the store, and this store has 5 locations here, and it's like people always go there. It's
Do you want to share the name, or do you want to put them down?
I don't want to share the name because I think it's just this one location. Because I went to another one, and they're fine.
It's a local chain, though, not
yes, it's just a local chain. All right, so it had started a few days before when I called in and I'm asking this guy. I was like, hey, I just got a liquid cooler. I need a power cable from SATA to like the power supply. Do you have any of those available? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, well, there's SATA power, and I need something to plug into my power supply. And he's like, well, that's going to be a PCIe. And I was like, no, it's not PCIe. I was like, I just need something. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm the only person here right now. I'm at to transfer you over to this other location. I was like, okay. So he transferred me over to the other location, way on the other side of town. He's talking with
on the phone,
the tech there. Yeah. Okay. And he's like, oh yeah, like I know exactly what you're talking about. We have that part. It's only $5. And then I was like, well, does your other store have it? He's like, yeah, we carry this at all of our stores. I don't know why this guy doesn't know what you're talking about. So I was like, okay. Went to that store and picked it up. And then when I went to this other store, the same one that I called where they didn't know what I was talking about a few days later, I asked them if they had any CD DVD drives, because I don't have one on my computer right now.
That is as stock as you get for I need a CD DVD drive. You know, that's for Blu-ray.
Yeah.
That's just for a CD DVD drive. This is old school technology.
Yeah, because I have like a lot of movies that I was going to rip to my computer so I can have them in like my iTunes library. And so I went there, and he's like, no, and like this is like the craziest part. Did you see this sign behind me? The guy, like that's where they were on the shelf, this far away from me, and the guy and I are standing right here talking. And he's like, "No, we don't have those in stock." And I was like, okay. And I turned my head and I looked and I saw them right there, and I was like, "Oh, they're right here." And he's like, "Oh yeah, we must have just got those." I was like, "What? You don't know your own stock?" Okay.
Now, why didn't you want the Blu-ray if you were gonna be using this to rip stuff?
Well, because I'm going to get a separate one. I'm going to buy that online, and I want to have 2, so that way I could like copy from one and rip to the other.
Sure.
If I decide I want to.
Cool.
So yeah, I was going to get this one. It was pretty cheap. It was only $29, and so I picked that up. I also got a serial ATA cable, which you need to plug that in. This is the second part. They had those labeled wrong. They said that they were power cords, and I was like, what? This is not a power cable. So I had to get that, and then when I took the drive home, I plug it in, it doesn't even work. Like, nothing on it's working.
And no drivers would fix that.
Yeah, like the drivers wouldn't work or anything. So I take it back to the store. Their card machine was down. It took about 30 minutes to get me a refund. It was just like the worst experience. Oh, and he didn't want to give me the refund either, because he's like, well, you just need to go download this, like this driver. I'm like, well, I already tried downloading that driver. It's not working, man. I'm telling you, I've been trying all afternoon like to get this thing to work. So it was just a terrible experience.
Wow. Well, so you're not done with you will be. You're not done with this stuff then. It sounds like it's an ongoing problem.
Yeah, I need to get those 2 drives. I'll just buy them online.
Okay. Yeah. Let's move ahead to mods. what is this Nexus mod? Sounds like the Google phone.
Nexus mod. So I was going to talk a little bit about mods. I'm sure we're going to talk about later, but I just started getting into it because I had no idea that this thing was so big. But apparently, with computer gaming, you can mod stuff.
Kind of like hacking.
You can do like little hacks. You can make crazy stuff happen inside your game. For example, you could be playing Skyrim. You can be driving a car.
That's not a natural vehicle in that game.
Yeah, but you can do all kinds of crazy stuff. But like a lot of the mods are really great because, for example, like the UI in certain games is not very great. But you can created your own mod that would make it look a lot nicer. And so a lot of people make these things. It's pretty cool. I found out about it. So I downloaded this thing called Nexus Mod Manager, and you can go to like nexusmods.com. And I was using that for a little while, and there's like tons of mods for a lot of different games, mostly Skyrim, like Fallout and stuff like that.
Minecraft is a huge modding community.
Yeah. So basically what you do is you find the mod that you want, and you just download it to your like Nexus Mod Manager, and then you it just plays, and it's pretty cool because you can change things. So when I was using the PlayStation controller, Skyrim automatically shows the 360 controls, so you can change it to show the PlayStation buttons. So
that's pretty nifty.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then I found out I don't even need this Nexus Mod Manager because it was just a third-party thing that I had to run every time I wanted to change stuff. And inside of Steam, there's Steam Workshop for certain games. There's already mods on there, and you just click subscribe, and it automatically adds it to your game. And it's like just like a one-click thing. It was pretty nice. So I started using that for Skyrim, and they have all the same things. I got this really great thing in Skyrim where if you're playing the game, normally whenever you go into a town, your horse goes to the nearest stables, or your horse stays wherever you like hopped off and like left him there. So you always have to travel back to wherever you left your horse. Sometimes you could lose your horse, so you have to travel to the nearest town, so he will automatically go to the stables. But I got this shout now in Skyrim where you just like use it, and your horse comes running up no matter where you are.
Nice.
Yeah, and I feel like that should have always been inside the game.
It is in Ocarina of Time, I believe.
Yeah. So, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, speaking of mods, to get the PlayStation controller to work, I was using this controller, the DualShock 3.
Yep, you got the 3 here. Bought it yesterday.
So I got the white one because I really like the white. It's pretty cool.
It's good coloring scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. And you can also use the Xbox 360 controller, and this one will work like with any Steam game, any Windows game. I have the wired one here, so this one isn't the wireless. You can get the wireless thing that plugs into USB, and then you can use this controller wirelessly. This is pretty nice because it's just a real simple controller. You know, it works. You know it's going to work all the time.
Xbox One controller.
Yeah.
Is better, I believe. Is that accurate, Aaron?
That is true. I love the Xbox One controller, and now that they came out with the driver with it, or for it, like last month, this is what I use all the time to play Steam games most of the time.
Yeah.
Now, modding stuff, I had to do a little bit of hacking to make this work, but there was some person had released a PlayStation 3 controller driver, and it worked all right for me. And that's where I was having the problems with my Bluetooth dongle because I couldn't use that controller wirelessly. So I was looking for another one that he had already built in support for.
Is wired a huge deal when you're in a computer in front of you so close?
No, it's not. I actually have all my wires running back behind my desk and coming out of the little hole. And I can just plug in my controllers whenever I want to use them.
Yeah, because my PS3 that I just got this week, I'm using this for the majority of games. Most games support it, the DualShock 4.
Yeah.
And because I only own one currently, I'm deciding not to pair it wirelessly to my PS3 because that means I have to pair it every time I want to switch. Instead of just using it wired with the USB cable. So you're most of these you're actually using wirelessly. You're not opting for like a USB cable to.
Well, actually, for like the Xbox One, you have to use it wired right now. I think they're going to come out with a wireless one. PlayStation, though, with the DualShock 3, I have to use it wired because my Bluetooth dongle isn't supported by that particular. I guess you could say, like, hack.
There's a $60 dongle thing
That's too much.
that supports all these controllers for PC and stuff, and it sounds cool.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of money, you know.
Yeah. But then I found this thing where it's like, oh, you can use the DualShock 4.
Now, you don't have a PS4, Aaron. Are you telling me
to get
you got a DualShock 4?
DualShock 4.
Look at that light bar, man.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And the really cool thing about it is I can actually change the light bar color.
Now, does it rumble?
Yes, it does. Everything works on it, even the touchpad. I can control my computer with a touchpad.
As a mouse.
Yes. And
so is this your go-to controller now, the PS4 controller?
It is. It is.
It is a nice controller, isn't
yeah,
it?
it is. I think it's even more comfortable than the Xbox One.
I totally agree. The Xbox One is just so huge. It's a huge.
Well, I don't think it's that big. Like, I thought it was pretty nice because it was compact. But I think what really makes it big is the center part is just a lot larger right here. So you have it's just kind of
especially the way mine set up is I got the adapter always plugged in. This is a big piece of plastic right here.
But yeah, this PlayStation 4 controller is super nice, and it has a really nice texture to the backside of it, and it doesn't make like sometimes when you're playing a game for a long time, you feel kind of clammy. This one with that texture, you don't feel that at all. It just always feels nice.
Yeah, it sickens me that I have to use DualShock 3s for certain games on the PS3. I just it's hard to go back.
Yeah, so I've been using that past couple days, now, and it's pretty nice.
You like this controller so much. Would this ever incline you to get a PS4?
I'm already wanting to get one.
So you want one if the price gets down low enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Cool.
Sometime.
At some point. Okay, cool. That's good to know, because I love my PS4.
Yeah. I want to get the white one, though.
It's coming out.
I want the white PS4.
It's like gonna be $460 or $430 with the game. It's not like a bundle where it's like $400 with Destiny. It's gonna be a little bit more, but it's a nice looking console. The white one. So
I'll probably use the white controller with my computer.
There you go. Easy way to tell apart. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's about it. That's all of my kind of modding and hacking. I had some problems with the DualShock 4, so it's kind of weird right now. I guess Sony is supposed to release support for like PC sometime soon.
Because the DualShock 4, my understanding was when the PS4 launched, that controller worked out of the box with no drivers or anything.
No, I don't know. I've always seen
at least
you
wired.
Have to,
Are you wired or wireless?
I'm wireless, so I have to use.
Yeah. Okay.
So like I have to use something. I have to plug it in, or no, I have to connect it first to my computer, and then I have to launch this app that will make the controller be like recognized by your computer as like a 360 controller, and then it'll work fine.
Is wired? Is that plug and play though? If you went that route?
Yes, it is.
Now, is it worth the hassle to just be wireless?
Well, wait, you mean like plug and play? Like you just plug it in and it starts working?
Yeah.
That wouldn't work for me. I couldn't get it to work. So you can still run this same app and you just launch it and it'll like recognize the controller and then it'll work. But you have to have this like launcher open each time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So like what I do is I start up my computer and I have that thing running, so all my controllers work.
Cool. Let's get in the news for the week. What's been going on in the Steam world?
So not a whole lot of like news per se, but definitely some sales.
That is the most common theme with Steam news. We'll have every once the Steam boxes and stuff as news, but sales.
So, yeah, there's a lot of sales. So we got Castle Storm. I've never played that, but this is on sale just today only. So if you're listening live, you can go pick that up. 66% off. It's pretty crazy.
Did you get that?
No, I did not get that. But one that I really want, but I don't think I'm going to get it from Steam, is Murdered Soul Suspect. So this one just came out,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's a cross-platform game. It just came out a couple months ago, and it was a pretty big deal. I remember because, like I guess a month after this game released by this studio's their first game, they closed down. I don't know why. Yeah, but it's a pretty big title game. The trailer for it looks really good. You're like this person this cop who gets shot down in the street, and you are trying to solve your murder from beyond the grave.
Wow,
yeah.
That sounds intense.
Yeah. Let's see. There's some other stuff. Call of Duty Ghosts has some new DLC
available.
Last
DLC, right? It's closing out the year for Call of Duty. On to the next one, right?
Yeah. So I was really tempted to pick up this game on PC because I heard that it's a lot more competitive on there, but never did. And let's see. Oh, Far Cry 4 and the new Assassin's Creed.
Is
You
there
can
like a pre-order discount?
Yeah, you can pre-order those now. I don't believe there's any type of discount, but you do get like some
DLC
extra
incentives.
missions,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Let's see, you get some clothing for the Assassin's Creed and stuff.
I was listening
and
to
some
an old
weapons.
podcast. Evidently, they made a Far Cry game for Wii.
Oh
as
yeah,
a
I
launch
saw
title.
that.
Did you want to address this live question here on controllers? He's asking about the X-Pad, where you can use it as a mouse and on all games.
X-Pad. I don't think I've heard of that. I know there's a lot of different controllers out there. I've heard a lot of people using the Logitech ones. So I heard that those work pretty
But
well.
if you didn't catch the earlier part, the PS4 controller is part of why Aaron's using it and likes it so much is the touchpad can actually be used as a mouse trackpad to navigate around pretty nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but there are so many controllers for PC. That's part of its blessing and its curse. Like, I love my Wii U because of all the controllers. It's got to be even crazier with Windows and stuff
Yeah.
like that. There's a
So-
Humble Bundle that came out.
Yeah, the Humble Bundle. So this was pretty big news for me, at least, because this goes into like where I get most of my games. So here's the games that I got this past week through the Humble Bundle. I got Thief Gold, Daikatana, Hitman, Hitman 2,
Yeah.
Hitman Blood Money, Hitman Contracts,
So it's a good
Hitman
theme.
Absolution. Let's see, like Mini Ninjas. I don't know what that one's about.
Probably
The Last
little
Remnant.
mini ninjas.
Yeah. The Last Remnant, which I played a little bit on the 360, and it was pretty awesome, so I'm glad that I have this now. Just Cause 2. Let's see, Midway, or let's see. Battle Stations Midway, Kane and Lynch 2, Lara Croft, The Guardian of Light, and there's plenty more. I got 20 games for $15.
That's not a bad deal, Aaron. See, I get excited when I get one good game at a price like that, you know.
Yeah. And then there's also like a weekly bundle that they just came out with pretty recently.
Is it the
And
Trine
this
bundle?
one, no, it's not the Trine. This is the Sci-Fi
Okay.
weekly bundle. So it has a lot of sci-fi games. Most of these I haven't heard of before, like The Last Federation, The Fall, Strike Suit Infinity, Strike Vector, things like that. That one's only, let's see, if you pay $15, you get all 7 games. You pay $6, you get 6 games.
Okay. Now, you mentioned Call of Duty in its last DLC pack and how you're tempted by that. So I'm assuming you have Call of Duty Ghosts for Steam then?
No, I don't. That's why I was tempted to pick that up.
The DLC on a different console or DLC and the game on?
No, the DLC and the game on PC.
Okay. I guess my next question comes into the live feedback by Shockwave 984. Call of Duty, the one with Kevin Spacey, when that comes out, your next Call of Duty game, your next new one, is that going to be a PC purchase or is that going to be an Xbox One purchase or a PS4 possibly?
I don't know. Because I've always been playing Call of Duty games on consoles.
You have.
And I may have to make the switch now because
So you're
the problem
abandoning
I
your
have
Xbox.
the problem that I have with Call of Duty games nowadays is that they look okay, but they're not running as high as they could. So the textures
You're
aren't
getting
as
the
high.
PC snobbery master class race, aren't you? Now you're playing that card.
Yeah. I mean, like, because I have this really great hardware, and it's like, why would I get a game that's going to cost more over here and not look as good?
Is it more though? Day and date, is it more? Is it? What's the price?
Well,
of
$60 for a Call of Duty game on the console,
What's it on?
and well, no matter what it is, there's going to be no tax on Steam. So even if it is $60,
I don't get taxed in New Hampshire. I just move up here and you'll be fine.
Yeah, but see, I can't do that. So, so like usually, like a pre-order game is going to be cheaper by about like $5.
How does Steam get away with no tax? iTunes has tax.
know.
Every place has tax. That seems a bit of a. They're gonna get like tax fraud or something.
I don't know. It's been like that forever.
crazy.
So no tax on Steam.
So for you, it's all about I got this supercomputer and I want to use it and it's a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, I've got 3 consoles now. I buy games based on not how they look, but how my friends list is shaping out on those consoles and who I'm actually going to be playing with.
Yeah.
So that is not kind of the factor with you. It's mostly graphics, and that's what you care about most.
Yeah. Well, because with a Call of Duty game, I'm going to play it online. I don't really care too much who I'm playing with.
Okay. No, I know where I stand
yeah.
in the hierarchy there.
Well, no, just because
I'm joking.
It's like, you know that like that's one of the games you can hop on and there's always going to be people on. But if it's something like, you know, like a racing game, well then yeah, you want to play with your friends online. That's going to be completely different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll probably be on PC, and the controller, you'll be using a console controller. You don't typically use keyboards and mice to do stuff, right?
Yeah, I rarely ever use my keyboard and mouse to play games.
Yeah, makes sense.
I only use controllers. So.
Cool. So Trine and Trine 2, you got these this week?
Yeah, so I got the Trine from the Humble site. So they have a Humble store. So you can donate, actually, portions of your sales to charity. So I always check there whenever I'm about to get a new game. And Trine was on sale. It was $2. So I picked it up. And then Trine 2 was on sale for, I think it was like $2.99 or something like that.
Yep. Very cool.
So yeah, I picked that up, and a really great deal.
Yeah. Next month, Aaron, I'm going to be getting for $30 in a year subscription, Madden, FIFA, Peggle 2, and Battlefield 4, Xbox One. Pretty good deal. Pretty good deal. EA Access.
Yeah, that's a lot of games.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm not sure if you're into EA Access or not.
No, I don't really like EA that much.
I hate EA, but for $2.50 a month, I'll play their broken, crappy games.
Yeah. Seems like, I don't know, they're always just trying to get more money. I mean, like, there's a lot of companies that do that with like a lot of games, but it seems like theirs, it's like
that's Steam value pricing, $2.50 a month. You get some full retail games, even if they're a little bit old. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how big that vault gets. But anyways, what have you been playing this week?
Well, I have been playing. Let's see, Final Fantasy 14. Really awesome.
Is that the latest one? I'm not up with Final Fantasies.
Yes,
Is this
Final
Lightning
Fantasy 14.
Returns?
Oh no, this one is like the massively multiplayer one. It is called Final Fantasy 14: A Realm Reborn. So we're gonna do a show on this game totally one day.
Okay.
But apparently, I was doing some research into this. Final Fantasy 14 was released, and people hated that game. Apparently, it was just terrible. And then Square Enix was like, we're sorry. We're going to come out like with this remake. And so they came out with Final Fantasy 14, A Realm Reborn. And
so they've had 2 Final Fantasy 14 games. They didn't go to 15.
Yeah. So in this game, they even tell you at the start of the game, they're like, there was this huge thing that happened, and like part of the world was destroyed, and all these people were all killed, and they were talking about all the players from Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
So they're referring to all of them, and they're like, well, now you're going to be like, you're like walking in their footsteps and stuff, and it's a whole new story, the same world, so it's pretty cool. And then I've also been playing Skyrim and getting pretty deep into that. You need to play that game.
It's in the queue for GameFly.
It's pretty awesome. Well, man, you're going to be spending months on that game, I have a feeling.
Yeah, I might have to up the GameFly to 2 when Skyrim comes in. We'll see.
Yeah. Because you get pulled into this world,
yeah.
And it's like, you just kind of live this life. You're
See, I gotta finish Xenoblade before I start Skyrim. No way I can do both. Are you not gonna finish Xenoblade by the time X comes out? Because you said you would.
Yeah, I said I would, but man, I got so many other games.
But Xenoblade, man, it's like the game of the year for that year it came out.
Yeah, but so is Skyrim. So
this is so much better. Anyways, so Aaron, I got a question for you. Shovel Knight. I got some review codes a while back that were a Steam code.
Yeah.
Was that free game the idea in your head to get a Steam machine when you got that code? Was that the spark of this all? 'Cause I'm just kind of curious. Was Shovel Knight the beginning of it?
No, Shovel Knight was not the beginning of it.
Oh, okay. So I was just trying to timeline things out. It's like, you got a code, then the next week you got a Steam box,
Yeah. Well, I was actually already thinking about it at that time when I got that Steam code from you.
So I pushed you over the edge.
Maybe that pushed it. I don't know.
Okay. But so you've been playing Shovel Knight on your Steam computer now.
Yeah, and I've been using the PlayStation controller.
It's got a good
PS4.
D-pad.
Yeah, and I was really surprised that if you're using that controller, it actually shows those controls on screen. You don't have to change anything. They've already built that in.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I was playing it on the 3DS. That's where I had originally played through it. And then I was playing it again just within the past week on there, going through my second playthrough. And it's really fun, and I like the way it looks with the 3D and stuff.
Oh, beautiful.
But I like playing it even better on Steam with like the bigger screen. And I think it's more just the D-pad. That's
Aaron,
the reason why.
You need to find a way to plug a SNES controller up to your computer.
Oh, you can. You just need to get the USB adapter.
They have a USB to SNES, like an original SNES, not even the Wii version?
Yeah.
You need to get that, man. You gotta hop on that, because that's going to be a brilliant way to play all these retro-styled games.
Yeah. But it's pretty cool, and I really like that game. I find that things are, like, pretty... Or, let's see. Like, that one room where you have to throw all those jars up and hit the targets. That's, like, really simple with this controller because you can, like, really precisely control where you're going to be.
Yeah. On the SNES controller, too, I feel like this is some super power mode because I feel ultra powerful with this controller.
Yeah. And, like, I'm beating, like, the final bosses super quick now because I feel like I can just control Shovel Knight a lot better.
Have you embarked on New Game Plus yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay. I could not finish New Game Plus. It was too hard.
It's hard.
The final 2 levels are boom. It's hard.
Well, like the final boss was crazy because you have to refight everyone.
And in New Game Plus, you only get 1 food and 1 magic refill every like 3 bosses.
Wow.
So you die pretty quick.
You gotta carry around some red.
Yeah,
cups.
those will run out too, though. Plus, because they hit you harder, they hit you double damage on New Game Plus. So. But yeah, you're still enjoying that game. I'm too. That's my. It's gonna be my. I might want to say anything, but I think it'll be my game of the year. It's gonna be in contender list because it's a game that throughout this entire year I'm gonna come back to and just still love.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So next week, what is going on next week on Club Steam?
Next week, we're gonna be talking about emulation. So
this is the dirty word of the PC, the stealing of games and emulating them there on your super powerful computer. So.
There's nothing dirty about that. Why is it not good to play the games?
Let's just go to Napster and download the entire collection of music for free.
But if you already own that music, there's nothing illegal about it.
Now, do you own all the games you're emulating? That's the question.
No.
Well, there you go, Aaron.
But I will make sure that I test out some games that I do own. So.
Okay. So we're going to dive next week into emulation, the topic that I always frown upon a little bit. So we're doing this on OS X entirely. Are we doing Windows emulation as well?
No, I'm probably just going to be sticking on the Mac side because it has Dolphin, which I'm sure that there's probably a PC one, but I heard it's much better on the Mac side.
Which is for GameCube and Wii, right? Yeah,
it's GameCube and Wii. So I'm
crazy.
really excited.
How do you emulate GameCube? That thing's so powerful.
Well, I'm going to be trying the Wii because the Wii is in like standard def, and I want to play some HD Wii games. So this actually plays them in 1080p, and they look awesome.
How do you play Wii games, Aaron, without the sensor bar? I got to know that one.
Well, what you do is you can do one of two things. They have Bluetooth sensor bars.
Or candles. Are you going to put candles
in front of your monitor? That's what I was going to say. Or I could just get some candles. Or I could just get like a USB sensor bar. So I have a few choices there.
The controller works pretty well, the Wii controller.
Yeah, and that actually just connects. All you have to do is just hit the sync button, and it'll connect to Bluetooth.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
It's a big topic for next week. Good boy. We'll see how it goes. I'm curious how glitchy the games are. You try.
I don't think it's going to be very glitchy. I've heard some really good things about this, and that's why I got the CPU cooler so that I can overclock it and play these games.
Now, hypothetically, could you rip the Wii games you have to your computer from disc?
Well, I heard that you can, but I'm not sure exactly how you do it. Plus, I don't have like a drive right now that I could do that.
Oh, because both your drives are out, I can imagine.
Yeah. But, yeah, people do it, but you can just download those games if you want.
Well, I mean, being more legit, you know, do it yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Any final thoughts for this week's Club Steam before we take a break for Club Nintendo in about 8 minutes or so?
Oh, yes. The Humble Store, I was also going to mention, is having a lot of really awesome deals. So if you go to their site, which is humblebundle.com, go to the store. They have really great deal right now on Square Enix stuff. So they have Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy 8, 7, and I believe there's some other ones on here, but those are super cheap. Like Final Fantasy 3 is $7.99, Final Fantasy 8 is $5.99, Final Fantasy 7 is $5.99. And then they have all the Tomb Raider games on sale. Every Tomb Raider game. You can get the newest Tomb Raider for $4.99.
There, it's $4.99.
$4.99.
See, I'm waiting on a sale on Xbox One for like $30. I'll buy it at $30. Give it to me for $30 on Xbox. You know.
And see, all the other Tomb Raider games are $1.74, except for Tomb Raider Underworld is $2.24.
How many Tomb Raider games are there?
Oh, there's like 7 or 8.
Have you purchased all these now?
No, not yet. I'm thinking
Are you
about it.
going
It's real
to? I mean, it
tempting.
seems
Probably.
like,
It's so cheap.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then they also have some of the Thief games. Those are also $1.74. Yeah, so you can go pick those up.
That's like 2 songs.
Yeah. So it's just crazy how cheap this was. And you can donate that to charity. So
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I'll be buying my overpriced games and consoles for next week. Or I should more accurately say I'll be game flying my games and just pay a subscription rate.
yeah.
Subscriptions are the future, Aaron. Everything's be subscription based.
Yeah, but I like having the actual game, so I could just play it wherever I am, know that I'll always have it.
I agree. I agree. For many games. But Aaron, where can folks find you on the interwebs and Steam webs this week?
You can find me at AL Rivera 423 everywhere, and I did a little bit of Twitch streaming this past week. I'm going to be
Final
doing
Fantasy,
that.
I saw that.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing that every Wednesday and Thursday. I'll be starting around 10 o'clock Central Time, 10 o'clock a.m. Central Time. Probably be going to around 3 or so in the afternoon, maybe 4. So
Okay.
check me out on there.
Yeah, in the future, I'm going to give you access to our shared calendar for the club shows. If you go to Club Steam Podcast, clubsteampodcast.com, and you click on the calendar tab there. That has a calendar of events, upcoming events, and that has all the podcast stuff. And this week it'll have me guest starring on a podcast, and we'll put streamings on there too. So if you have scheduled streamings, you'll be able to put that there, and it'll be a good central place for you to find out where stuff is going on. So we'll make sure we get that added to the calendar.
Yeah. And I will try to start posting it on my Twitter whenever I start streaming. So if you follow me on there, you can also
Very cool.
do that.
So just as I said, clubsteampodcast.com is the website that has our calendar to keep apprised as to what we are doing. There's also there's a Twitter account. I don't know the handle off the top of my head. They're so is it Club Steam Podcast? Let me see. Here.
I don't know. I didn't even know we had one.
Let me open up Twitter here. I gotta get you the credentials for this one as well. So yeah, here we go. Club. So Twitter. Yeah, at Club Steam is our Twitter account. So if you just go at Club Steam, that's our Twitter handle for this podcast. You can follow us there. And my handle everywhere is at TCHATEN. And that is everywhere. So PSN, XBL, Nintendo Network ID, Twitter, Instagram, all over the place. YouTube, where you can watch video versions of these podcasts at TChattin. And thank you for watching or listening. If you're on the live stream, stay tuned. In about 5-6 minutes, we'll be jumping into Club Nintendo Level 64. Thanks for watching and listening. We'll be back next week for Club Steam. Bye.
See ya.